of type 2.
What is it? What is it?
The only cause of type 2.
What's the cause?
The only cause of type 2 diabetes is poor diet. That is the only cause.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
What's that?
I said, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We are on the air. Welcome to T.D.G.S. Sports, where we bring you the absolute best sports analysis.
Oh, almost nailed it. Want to go for a third take?
Yeah,
close.
We're keeping that sports analysis, not analysts. Sports analysis, though we do have the best analyst in all of American history right here. But the question is, why are we the best?
Well,
why are we the best?
That's like asking Michael Jordan, who is the GOAT. And he always says, that's really for other people to debate, not for him to say. It's like his game spoke for itself. I know why I think Jordan is the GOAT and why other people may or may not. But to me, the record speaks for itself. And when you look at basketball, Jordan is the GOAT in the same vein that Kevin Durant and James Harden are just trash. They're talented, yes. But when the chips are down, do you want James Harden in a series that matters? No. Do you want Kevin Durant to be the man to lead you into battle? No.
But
Jordan, do you want Jordan to lead you into battle? Hell yes.
Absolutely.
Hell yes.
We are the Michael Jordan of sports shows. For real.
I'm Michael Jordan.
I can't be my. I can't.
You're right. And you are what's that other dude? What's his name?
Steve Kerr.
Nah, he's Scott Burrell.
Can I be the Yao Ming of the sports shows?
Will Purdue.
Larry Bird.
Tom Paxson. Give him at least Tom.
I'll take Larry Bird. Can I be Larry Bird?
No, he didn't play on the Bulls team.
That's right. We're talking about the Bulls here, huh? Chicago. Anyway, right. You know why we're the best? We're the best because all the other sports shows suck, right? And by suck, I mean they are absolutely dreadfully boring. And I had to ask the question, why are they absolutely dreadfully boring to watch? Whether it's Scott Van Pelt or the Good Morning Football, or actually the only one that I would say is not boring to watch is Pat McCarthy, but he brought a different twist to the sports world, right? But everything else, right? Everything else is absolutely boring. And
well, you know why it is.
They're trying to portray it like a like a CNN news show. And the question is why? Why do we continue? Well, yeah, let me finish. Why do we have to subject people who watch sports and want to know the latest sports news to something like that, especially when they could jump on, say, T.D.G.S. Sports and get a refreshing take with real talk, right? We're real people. We got real chemistry. Our conversations are excellent. And here we are, right? And I don't mean to toot my own horn or toot our own horn, but we're going to toot, right? Like it's like, why do people continue to think, or why do companies continue to think that is what people want to hear?
Well, I'll say this. The reason why they are bad is because they are agenda and narrative driven. It's not about what happened in sports or things. They're trying to drive a certain agenda, a certain narrative. Just like if you have groups that do different research and things, it's one thing to just research as a search for truth in a matter. If you research with an agenda, then you're not going to be objective when you find things. If you research with an agenda, you're only going to highlight and really take to heart the things that prove the agenda, the narrative that you're already pushing. Versus, hey, you could find something that totally changes the trajectory of what you thought. And that's the way it should be. And that's why we are different from the others. The others are just pushing a narrative, and they're just taking anything that feeds into that narrative, that agenda, and running it on up the pike. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
that's
but
that actually can apply to everything besides sports. That's
Absolutely.
The news, that's politics, anything that they just have one agenda and they just pile up on it. They just anything that drives people to have an opinion and continue to debate on Nothing, because it's nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, but okay, but I had to ask though, what's the agenda, right? How does sports
just realize Justin may have been asking a rhetorical question.
No, we're going for it. That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're going for it. This is why we're here, right? I'm serious. It's a serious question.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's a serious question is because I spent some time over the past week watching these shows, like really watching them to see. I know it was dreadful.
Were you okay?
Right. Well, at 10 minutes into Scott Van Pelt, I was asleep, right? Literally 10 minutes in. And it's like every other show, it's like there was no chemistry. It was super awkward. The conversations were bad. And it was like, who's stopping by on these shows? Seriously, that's what I took away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to agenda, right? Really, if you go to agenda, what's the agenda here? Are we convincing the sports world that Donald Trump's bad for bombing Iran? Or are we, talking about how some teams don't deserve the spotlight that they get? Like, should we divert our attention from New England? Is that the main prerogative of these sports shows? Should we not talk about, Josh Jacobs getting arrested? Like, are these the agendas that we're looking at? Or
he got arrested on all those charges, then they let him go the next day.
I agree. I just saw that. But the point is, right, what is the agenda of sports shows? Why aren't we just talking about sports?
Right. That is the $1 million question, And I think it's above our pay grade.
It probably is above our pay grade, but the thing is that it just keeps it's a point of view. So it's depending on the network what they want to portray. You look at all the sports shows. You watch Get Up, or you watch what comes after it is what's the show with Stephen A. Smith that comes right after Get Up, and they're talking. It's the same show with different hosts, but they have the same topics. There's nothing different.
Yeah,
and they're showing the same highlights, the same clips, and they're just giving you a different verbiage of the same topic, but they're giving it's the same. It's like you're watching the same thing over and over and over again.
Well, it's basically the same show, but recasting the characters, like
it's
the Wizard of Oz and the Wiz.
Yeah, and that's
like Justin was saying earlier. The only refreshing difference is when Pat McCarthy comes on. It's a different perspective because he brings his own agenda to it, and he brings his own perspective to it, and he gives it his own twist.
What's his perspective? That even the unmedicated can have shows?
I
think it's more so that AJ Hawk is capable of holding a conversation without going.
Well, I think the other part, we used to talk about sports and looking at sports shows way back when, and look at these different athletes. When have they ever said, think about it nowadays, no matter what, when have they ever tagged a guy as a choker on one of the shows? They never do that anymore.
They never. They
used to talk about the whole psychological side. And when they called him the GOAT, they talked about all these moments in which he thrived. Now, everybody watches James Harden fail in big moments year after year, postseason after postseason, and nobody will come out and say it. Remember Patrick Ewing? He was labeled a choker back in the day. He was. And he was better. He was way better than Harden in big games. So now we take the psychological element out of it, and they're wanting you to just focus on, your fantasy sports teams and things like that, and just about the stats and things like that, not the human element. And that's what I think is being subtly taken out of the whole thing, is they got all these stats, but why? When? What did it mean? What was the moment?
In every sport, in basketball, they shoot 55%. 55% for a center, that's horrible. You're supposed to be shooting 60% for a big guy down low post. 60% of shots are supposed to be going in, not 45, not 50.
Yeah.
That's something to talk about, the human element and what we show, right? What those sports shows show versus the reality, right? So a lot of my athletes this past couple of years have been into Ray Lewis, right? Ray Lewis is one of the best linebackers to play the game. Ray Lewis has these hard hits, right? And I had to explain to them. I said, if you really look at Ray Lewis, right, the film that you see on a daily basis, like whether it's on the YouTube or whatever recap of a sports show, or like the NFL, throws like a little highlight film as Ray Lewis is walking out of the tunnel for Baltimore. I said, if you really look at it, those hits probably make up, I'd say, about 5% of his career. 95% of it was either, playing his position correctly and or running downhill and not wrapping up the attack, the ball carrier. And so he just missed the tackle, right? That was most of the tackles Ray Lewis, didn't get, was because he just didn't get his arms out to wrap up. He went in a tackle like this and went, right?
But that's been retired for a minute now.
I know, but this is
out. Just...
no, but that's the thing though. That's the youth over the past couple of years was the Ray Lewis. They pull these like random old guys out. But the point is, right, is that what is shown and talked about is, makes up so little of their career, right? It's that human aspect. You see these superstar players, but you don't see the player.
I think it's because I think analytics has.
He's going to get to Brian Urlacher here in just a minute. I know it. I know it's coming.
No, I'm not talking about it.
He's going to go to Urlacher.
That's old news. I already hit enough. I think
all this.
Ray Lewis. Come on.
This love for analytics has killed sports. It's right. Everybody's engaged with. Oh, did you see how high he can jump? Did you how fast he can run? No.
Exit velocity on a home run.
Larry Bird.
Yeah.
He couldn't jump. He wasn't fast, but he would tell you, I'm going to get the ball right here in this corner, 2 seconds left. I'm going to shoot it, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it.
Right. He'd tell you that beforehand.
Yeah.
He'd tell you that beforehand.
He would say before. He would tell his defender, and that was a psychological effect that he had on his defenders. I'm going to get the ball in this corner. They're going to give me the ball. And you're not going to be able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, he would get the ball and he'd get it and he'd shoot it. And there was nothing you're going to be able to do about it.
That's like him walking into the 3-point contest at the All-Star weekend when it still meant something and just saying, okay, so which one of you guys is finishing second? And then going out and winning it.
Yeah. But that's the point, right? Is that I always tell people, I say, you show me a fundamental football player and I'll show you a superstar, right? Because that's what it is. To me, you play fundamental football, you do everything right and you play your position perfectly and you hardly get noticed, but if you really break down the film of that player, right, that's the guy that you can count on. That's the guy that is the reason why the big plays happen, right? Is the fundamental football player out on the field. And that's the thing. That's really the what football or what sports analytics should be about, is look at this guy, look at his footwork, perfect, right? Look at the way, say alignment, look at the way he's got that reach block, or look at the way he pulls, he gets low, he takes that first step left, if he's pulling left, he takes that first step right. The line, moves unanimously that way, so the guy really doesn't have to step backwards. He can just scrape up the line and out to wherever he's going, right? That's what I want to hear. That's what I think people should be listening for, right? I don't want to hear about the stats for fantasy football. As much as I love participating in fantasy football, the reason why I did fairly well this year was just because I understood the game. I understood what makes players great. Right.
And that's how it should be. You understand how players are going to perform, which players are going to do well based on their skill set, not based on their exit velocity or their range of motion, or that has nothing to do with how they play the game, because once they're in the game time, live game time, that it helps them out, but it's not a difference maker because they have to think in real time. And
situational.
When I listen to the Cubs games, or I watch them, but I listen to Pat Hughes, because he's not talking about exit velocity and angles and anything. He's talking about baseball. I'm listening to a baseball game. I'm not listening to all this analytics stuff. I detest listening to analytics, and when they talk about this. And I just turn it off. I tune it out.
Right.
Now, you know where I heard my baseball from, and you'll appreciate this. Joe Morgan. listening to Joe Morgan. I mean, it was just the insights, the little insights on the game.
Yes.
He had, it was incredible. And they're all little, oh, that's right. You have to do this. And there's so many, and that's the thing about baseball too, is that the nuance of the game, base runners with 1 out, base runners with 2 outs.
Yeah, it's a situational thing. It's not. It's the best players are the ones that understand the situation that they're in. What's the score? How many are on base? How many outs do we have?
Mm-hmm.
What inning is it? Who's batting behind me? Do I take my base on balls? What do I need a hit? Do I need a home run? That's a situational thing.
But give the play scenario, right? Well, this has to happen in order, to make this play work. Sometimes I feel like the sports shows and their, how they do analytics, they're really appealing to, Charles, this fairly well, I view, is the fans at the hockey games that just sit there, drink beer and yell, shoot it, right? That's, I think, more often than not, that's who they think are going to become these like real sports fans, and they try to capture them through like analytics, like,
that's the problem. The problem is that there's the business end of it. And so you got to look at what people are actually doing. So the next generation coming up, which that's who you got to get a hold of, is what about the teenagers, the young people, early 20s and things like that? What are they doing now? And why do they watch? One, they're not spending the entire day on Sundays in front of the TV like I did with my dad and like I still do because I'm from that generation. They're just following, they're looking at stats on their phones and things like that. And so you have to figure out how to market that because the money is not in people going to the games. They sell you on the game experience, but it's really about all the people on their smartphones, on their TVs, watching and why they're watching. And you have to appease those people. And unfortunately, us old school people, we wind up, getting left out in the cold, but who cares? Because, like E said, we can just turn down the volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, one thing I wanted to throw in about Joe Morgan, he said something that was just great. He said he got to talk to Willie Mays about hitting when he was early in his career. He said the way you maintain a great batting average, he said, when you get a weak pitcher, you beat the hell out of him. Go 3 for 4, 4 for 4, 4 for 5 or whatever. And then that way, when someone's on fire and you can only go 1 for 5 or something, it's okay. You balance it out.
Yeah.
You beat the hell out of bad pitchers. Don't let those moments pass.
Don't let them off the hook. Don't let them off the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's good. That's good broadcasting. That's a good sports, like sports show. That's good. It's good analysis, right? You're sitting there like, if you have this, don't let them do that, right? It's like, that's the stuff we want to hear, right? Because again, when you have young athletes, right, that you're trying to capture, it's how can they get better? How does that sports show work for them, right? How can they get better at what they're playing by listening to you or listening to us, right? And I think we try to do our best at that, but I think that's why I really don't understand why sports shows aren't doing that, right? When they are trying to market to younger generations, it's like, come on.
Yeah, but younger generations, what are they about? They're not about really anything.
Yeah. They're just about drama.
Right.
Yeah, drama, right.
They're just about drama, and they want the drama, and they're getting the drama. So they're trying to make drama out of anything and everything that they can find. And that's how they keep the younger audience engaged, because they just want the dramatics. Oh, Steph Curry, he scored 50 points. How did he get those 50 points? Did he go 10 out of 60? They have to shoot the ball 60 times to get those 50 points? Because that may not have a great shooting night. Oh, but he scored 50, and that's all that matters. He had one that he shot from half court, and he made that shot. Wow, whoopity do. Yeah, he made a big shot. He's shooting from the ceiling. Wow, he made a shot from the ceiling. He scored 50 points.
They don't want anything personal when you look at it. It's like you can't say anything that's, like I said, you can never call someone a choker nowadays. That's considered almost, defamation of character or something. But you can, however, if someone gets in some type of legal trouble, that's when you pile on and they want to, make the guy go live on Mars or something. But they don't want the things. It's about the mindset of big games and big moments. There's some basketball players who cannot sink a jump shot in the last 30 seconds of a game, no matter what. They can't.
LeBron James.
They can't do it.
Yeah, and you know what Bobby Knight would say? That's not the guy that's going to get the ball in the last seconds of the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That guy's there for the pass to get the ball to the guy that can do that.
Yeah.
Right? When here that scenario, right? Bobby Knight, the best thing I heard about Bobby Knight when he was talking about a guy he recruited that was out there, they panned to the guy, and the guy said, what Bobby Knight told me is I was just out there to pass the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That seems like
that's honest. It's honesty. You know, you're not the guy that's going to shoot the ball. You're not going to be the guy that's, down low. You're going to be the guy that's going to get the ball to whoever it needs to go to win the game. Right.
And
honestly,
if you're honest with yourself about your game, you know those things already.
Yeah, you know but
you're not made for certain moments.
I agree, and I can tell you firsthand. There were moments. There are tons of moments as a sports player, right, where I knew what my role was. Mm-hmm. Right, on hockey, I was the guy that was going to go stand in front of the net and try to get the deflection into the net. Right, that's what I did, or I was the enforcer. Right, that's all I was out there for.
Yeah.
And basketball, I was just a guy to give the other guys a break. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, for real. I'm going to be honest with you. I was the guy to give the other guys a break. And I was okay with that. I had fun while I was out there, but it's like I knew my role. I wasn't the superstar.
But
I sure as hell wasn't going to take the
still a role on a team. That is still a role on a team.
Your coach told you, said, okay, the black guys get tired sometimes. And that's when you have to go in and not let anybody score so they can have some Gatorade.
That was what was said. Try not to get too technicals, right? That was what I was told before I got out there. Try not to get two technicals or 4 fouls in the 1.5 minute you're out there, right? Seriously, that's how, but I was okay with that.
I get you. I get you.
I was okay with that, right? Because they knew I was going to play like a linebacker, and it was good. But I think that's where we go wrong. A lot of these younger athletes, they don't see that because nobody tells them that. And these sports shows don't do a good job with that because they show them the superstar moments, and all they take away from that is that I can do that too.
Yeah, and that's true. They never highlight the guy that came off the bench and stopped the key player or had a key moment.
Mike Jones.
Your average Joe that had a key moment. That was a key moment in the game that changed the momentum to their team. They never talk about that. They just talk about the superstar that had the big play, the big pass, in football. They don't who gets talked most about? Quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They don't talk about the guys that made the spectacular catches. It was the pass. Oh, that was a spectacular pass. It was an amazing catch, but it was a spectacular catch. I mean, a pass. It was, it's very seldom we talk about the running backs. How often we talk about a defensive player other than the superstar on that defensive team? We never talk about the tackle that stopped the run.
Mike Jones.
He's
the one who wrapped up Kevin Dyson in that Super Bowl.
We never hear talking about the line, how the line was shifting one way or the other to block, to cover the holes, preventing that run to come through. We never talk about that. We just talk about the tackle or the sack or the interception, the big plays. But those little small plays in the trenches, we never talk about.
In the next gen stats?
Yeah. So anyway, let's take this time to talk about key moments, next gen stats, and what the paper says, right? On paper, analytics can be wrong, right? They could have things on paper that say you're the better team, and it turns out you're not, right? So when it comes to things like that, when you get an opportunity in a big game and you miss, and then you get an opportunity in the lesser game and you make the goal, do you get to take that as a win and say, well, I got to redo and I finally got this here in the NHL? Or do you still suck? What do you think?
Okay, what you got to set that up for me again.
McKinnon, right? He had that layup in the Canadian gold or the gold medal game. Sorry,
and then he popped it up in overtime too,
where he missed it. Yeah, but then again, in the playoffs, he had that same opportunity, same spot on the rink, and made it.
Okay, but his team just got swept out of the playoffs. So
yeah, but do we forgive him for that? No, right?
No, especially since his team got swept.
Yeah.
It would have been a do-over had his team swept the other team.
Yeah.
And he had been the one advancing to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. So this is the point though where analytics gets it wrong, right? Is that you have these things that say, well, you have these players who have these, shots on net, who have these assists, this amount of assists, who have, these, I'd say neutral zone plays. And yet they're wrong, right? They get it wholly wrong. And so anyway, my point is that analysts can be wrong, and McKinnon should know that, right? I'm gonna keep going.
Analytics don't allow for the human side of the game. It's about what they need to do. If you're going to do analytics, I would break it down to the last 5 minutes of any game or game situations. What was the score when you do all these different things? How is this guy when games are tied, when they're in the third period, or in football games in the fourth quarter? Things like that. How do they come through when it matters? They need to develop analytics for that type of thing, not just overall.
Analytics will have my attention when they can capture determination, mental fortitude,
exactly,
attitude during clutch time, during crunch time. What is the mental fortitude and attitude when they can capture that human factor? Then you have my attention with analytics. Other than that, I don't care about how fast this guy can skate, how good, how hard his shot is to goal, how high he can jump. That doesn't matter to me. That doesn't matter. It's heart, because you have a guy that has a heart, come in and can beat anybody any given time. Sugar Ray Robinson had more heart than anybody he stepped in the ring with.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's like I said with circling back to baseball, people, especially nowadays, the kids are all into the WAR stats and things like that, wins above replacement, and all these other little things. It's like this. Look here. They talk about Reggie Jackson, and I tell them this: it's when the game is on the line. The last player anyone wanted to see coming to the plate was Reggie Jackson. That's it. I don't care if he's batting 240.
He could be 0 for 10 with 10 strikeouts, and the game is on the line, and he came to the plate. You know what? There's a reason why he's called Mr. October.
Right, exactly.
Because in his mind, he got it right, he got it set, and he was a game winner. He was a clutch hitter. Yep. Same thing with Teddy Ballgame.
Yeah.
Ted Williams was, the last guy to hit over 400 was Ted Williams, and that was what, 1946?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Nobody has ever hit over 400 in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a bunch of guys that do really well sometimes, but don't make the big games, right? Essentially it.
And that's when we talked about Jonathan Quick, goaltenders. Jonathan Quick, he was a big game goaltender. He was.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had the game on the line. I think he never won the Vezina because, it's like, did regular season games matter? Yes, they do. And yes, you have to make the playoffs. But in a big game, who else do you want in net but Jonathan Quick? When
you want Quick. And I think when we talk about the goaltenders, right, past couple weeks, is that I think there really hasn't been a goaltender that's been like Jonathan Quick. There hasn't been the big game goaltenders. And I think there's, I don't know, I guess it's just how the mindset of some people when it comes down to it. Other people are just the big game guys, right? One time you do well and you live on that moment for a little bit. And Jonathan Quick had the mindset of, I'm playing every game like that.
Well, I'll tell you this, and when we talk about the analysts and things, I will give it up for the hockey guys because when I watch them, watch Henrik Lundqvist and Paul Bissonnette and PK Subban, Gretzky, and those guys, they talk about it in the evolution of the game. And when you talk about goaltending, where the days of kind of the number one guy there's sort of a lot of teams are going with tandems and really throughout the playoffs, even you see the backup goaltender getting starts and things. It used to be you kind of switched off. Maybe the backup guy went every fourth game or so. But once the playoffs started, you had your number one guy, and that was it. And he did not leave the net. But now you got guys switching off.
Yeah, it's like the Kings the past couple of years where they stuck with Korpisalo for the entire series, and you had to ask the question of why. Right. But I take Biz and Hank. I love listening to them because they do break that down really well. Hank, especially from a goaltender's perspective, he'll tell you, what he sees, what defenders should do, right, and where the goalie went wrong. Mm-hmm. Biz is the same way. Biz will talk about, the neutral zone and kind of moving into the offensive zone there. Gretzky, however, Gretzky's still on that one. If we back up to when Connor Bedard got in the league, he definitely said the words, "I think that's the next me."
Okay. Well, what are you gonna? So you're wrong on that. Everybody can make a wrong call on something like that, but hold that against him till the day he dies.
Well, when he takes the Oilers over the Kings in a playoff game.
Well, the Oilers were better than the Kings. That's what it comes down to. Well, here's what it comes down to. Look, Gretzky, and the fact that he said that, though, it shows how unique a player he was. Gretzky, he was not the biggest. He was not the strongest. He wasn't the fastest. He did not have the hardest shot. Gretzky saw the game that nobody could see. That's why he was so good. He saw the ice. No one could see what he saw the ice in different layers and levels and angles and things. So now that's why he was, and you look at him saying Connor Bedard is the next Gretzky. Well, did you ever see Gretzky as a coach? He was horrible as a coach.
Yeah, I seen him as a coach. Yeah, that's one thing.
Teach what he saw. That's the problem.
So that's one thing.
Looking at him like, dude, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. So I gotta say. So here's my self marker. A lot of the years, right, is that when I start to do bad as a coach, right, I sit there and think about, am I a Gretzky, right, where I was fairly good at playing the sport, but when it comes to coaching, sometimes I sit there and go, I think I have the Gretzky disease, right, where you're good at playing it, you understand it, it's like everything's good and groovy, but coaching it is a whole different ball game.
Well, in general, they talk about a lot of great players do not make great coaches because their fundamentals were good, but great players are so much in the moment and playing the moment, you against that man or that team in that moment, that it's not a lot of things you can't coach. It's like the game comes at you.
You can't teach a moment.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can't, and that's a mindset thing, and that again, I'm going to tell you, that's where I struggle as a coach, right? Is not understanding why someone can't see that, right? Why they can't see, you're in the moment, you situational awareness, and you just know what you got to do, right? There's no question, right? And everything's muscle memory, right? If you're a linebacker, you've moved downhill, right? You ditch the blocker, and then you go get the ball, right? Or go get the ball carrier. It's a lot of times when I see that not happening, but it's like that player's right there. It's like coaching it for me, it's a struggle. It's a real struggle for me.
Well, it was tough when I was coaching hockey to get, because I'm a defenseman and I know how the whole thing, how you can screw up the whole positioning and everything. But I couldn't get my forwards to, when they saw they had a weak defenseman on one side, I'm like, why aren't you taking him around the outside? Once you take him around the outside, you wind up with both defensemen on the same side of the ice. And it's all yours, because then you got forwards trying to cover for him. And it's right. Defensemen who are, their backward skating is kind of weak. Take the puck down that side every time and beat him around the outside. I mean, can't get it through their heads.
Right. It's like you just have to, especially with that, right? If they're weak skating backwards and they can't transition well, to skating forward, it's like you get that on their weak side and go. Go.
I know. Yeah.
And that's the one thing. So I was blessed coaching hockey is that I coached a bunch of guys that I played with. And so we all had, had that chemistry already, but it's like I often in that situation, I'd be the same way. It's like, why aren't you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Why, oh my goodness. Yeah. Right there with you. Anyway,
talk to me, E. I know you got something.
I'm just right now. I'm in the moment. I'm listening to you guys in the moment right here. I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
Well, that's what, and I'll say this, baseball, Wade Boggs, he was saying that he couldn't, as far as teaching hitting, he said he couldn't do it because he said it was always, every time he went to the plate, it was just me against that pitcher.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah.
But that I get, I understand. And it's not, you can't teach a moment. You can't go, you have to be in the moment to be able to explain it. And you can't, it's hard to bring somebody in that moment with you and say, this is what I see. And this is what I want you to see. You can't do that. It's impossible.
Gary Sheffield, I just heard him talking, and he was talking about how he made basically every pitcher has 3 good pitches. And what he would do is take one away. Like, you will not throw me any fastballs today. So make him beat you with one of the 2 other pitches. And that's how he, the psychological thing.
Yeah.
No fastballs. That's it.
Yeah.
You got a breaker, sinker, curveball. Okay, throw them. But you're not going to beat with any fastballs. And it take a weapon away. Whatever the best weapon is, take that away.
That's how I approach golf, right? It's I sit there and go, if you can't drive well and you can't get, the fair, get the mid fairway to up to the green, right? I said the one thing you're gonna do is you're gonna kill it on the green. You get that chip up onto the green, and you're gonna go ahead and sink that 50-foot putt. And I said, if you do that, you'll definitely beat the person.
I golf almost as good as Charles Barkley.
The point, right? Is 50 whatever.
Wait, say that again, E. I missed that.
I said I golf almost as good as Charles Barkley.
But that's the point. So that's what I tell him, right? I say if you can sink the putt and finish, right, that you're gonna do a lot better than the person that's gonna drive really well off the tee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And that's where I approach it. It's like, if you can't do these other things well, we gotta do chip onto the green and then sink the putt. Just like that.
Is it drive for flash and putt for cash? Is that what it is?
Right. Even if they don't say that was beautifully put. I'm gonna hang on to that one forever.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Here we go. Speaking of putting, and putting for cash, and I'm talking $20 million cash. 2 weeks ago, the PGA Championship, the 108th, was interesting, to say the least, right? The leaderboard at one point had like 5 or 6 dudes tied for first, and 5 or 6 dudes tied for second. And at one point it was a random no-name guy who was leading at the end of day 2. But overall, we had our first Englishman since 1919 to win, and that is Aaron Rodgers. And now Aaron Rodgers, he killed it. He stayed consistent, where Rory and Scheffler and what's his name, Scheffel, when they couldn't finish the putt, he sat there and sunk it. He sat there and said, "This is mine. I got you." He took that same mentality, right? So it was not the U.S. Open. I want to say the PGA Championship was something worth watching. It was a good finish for the season. Did y'all catch it?
I did not, but everybody likes a good finish, don't they?
That is true.
Not unless a horn is being blown. Anyway, so it was interesting. So we've talked about on this show how we can bring the golf leagues together, right? Mm-hmm. The difference between the LIV and the PGA, right? Well, in this moment, the $20 million purse came from the U.S. Open, the Masters, and the PGA Championship joining together to bring that purse up that's worth winning the championship, right? Worth that $20 million.
What I get from that was, this is PGA. This is a movement to try to eliminate LIV. They're trying to do their own internal movements. This is exclusive, right? You hear it right here now. This is PGA trying to undermine or undercut Live and get rid of them because they know they're on a shaky leg right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to plan things and shake the ground to try to get rid of them completely. Have all their players come over. Hey, we got bigger purses over here.
Yeah.
Come on over. Get some money over here.
Uh-huh. Because at the end of the day, and we'll let Justin finish this one off, it's all about
the money, right?
The Benjamins.
Yep, the money. Absolutely.
The Benjamins.
I think that's a good move, though. I feel like now that you have Live that's kind of dying out, right? And it's something, again, nobody can watch it. It's different days. I think I've caught one Live match this entire season. Now I'm not particularly looking for it, but at the same time, it's like if you can watch the PGA more readily available, right? I'm sorry, is the PGA more readily available? It's like, what are you going to watch? You're going to try to search for the Live on whatever channel it's going to be on, or are you just going to sit there and click on the PGA, right? And then again, we talk about the face of the game. Are you going to want to see, I like Bryson DeChambeau, but at the same time, if I could sit there on one day, watch Scheffler, watch even Aaron Rodgers, right? This and an unimaginable match that he played. Okay. If you can see Scheffler, if you can see McElroy, if you can see Justin Rose, if you can see Jordan Spieth, if you can see, any of these top name players in this game, it's like I'm not necessarily going to go watch just one guy play, right? I want to see everybody else who I know is a phenomenal golf player and I can learn something from their game. Yeah, absolutely, right? Cam Young didn't do well, but I think he's a young player that's moving up in the ranks of PGA. So it's like you got a handful of dudes PGA and you got one guy in Live that right? You have one guy.
Yeah.
Now, if that was John Daly, it might be a different story, but Bryson DeChambeau, it's like, come on. He needs to join the real league.
John Daly, what is he up to now? About 400 pounds?
Not yet, but he's essentially chipping well onto the green with a beer in one hand and chipping with the other, right?
And I still say,
I like his approach. Listen, I'm
naturally talented golfer ever has to be John Daly. It has to.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now I'm going to tell you this, and golf, golf clubs are going to hate me for this forever. Is that I get out there with my flip flops. I take it off when I tee off. I tee off with my bare feet, just like John Daly, because it feels better. It feels better.
You want to be in touch with nature.
Yeah, well, it's called you get grounding. Right?
Yes, and actually, grounding is a very good thing. I don't know if I'd do it on the golf course, but yeah, everyone should do some grounding pretty much every day. Walk around your bare feet on grass about 10 minutes a day.
If you're a golfer that hasn't golfed barefoot, start doing it now, because if you're grounding while you're golfing, your game's going to improve that much more. Seriously, it's going to improve that much more.
Justin just wants to get his shoes off because when he does it at home, he's always stepping on Legos.
Anyway, so with your shoes,
I think Live will end up being like a Asian/European circuit here in the near future.
I don't think so though, because all those guys come over here.
So instead of live and let die, it's let live die.
Let live die with Western Europe, right? Let live die with Western Europe, and we'll call it a day.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to be like a secondary circuit over there, and then they're going to end up. All their players are going to end up coming to PGA, especially if PGA keeps on bringing up these big tournaments, big cash tournaments like this one.
Well, that was so that was the thing. That was the thing with this, right? $20 million purse on a course that wasn't necessarily one, where it's not the La Jolla, it's not the Pebbles Beach, it's not the, the ones on, say, Maui. This was in Pennsylvania, and this had really tight fairways. The winds were high, right? So that does affect how you drive, and it showed, because a lot of people weren't necessarily hitting those tight fairways. But more importantly, they were showing off, and this was perfect for it. As if we talk about, getting rid of Live, is that the greens were essentially, they were difficult. I've seen Rory putt a million times over, and he would sink that 30, 40 foot putt because he can do that. And on these greens, where he should have made it, right, that thing would roll 10 feet. and then stop. And it'd be one of those moments where you look at Rory and go, damn, you wouldn't normally miss that, but these greens are difficult. So I think that if they were approaching it from what you say, easy, and the idea of let's show the world what our golfers can do versus what Liv can do, that was a good point to show. That was to show the finesse and the skill and the strategy of these golfers. And again, that's why Aaron Rodgers coming in, who has prior to that, I think it was only four big batch wins. With him coming out and winning, it was like that you were good. You deserve that spot. You deserve the $20 million. You deserve every ounce of respect from every golfer that plays the game, whether you're the first time golfer, drinking beer, or the pro. It's like you have to say he is a great golfer.
But it goes to show that we set up the tournament and anybody can win. Yeah. Anybody. This is not just for the big names, big games. Anybody can come in and win it.
Yeah, and that was where it is. And I think a lot of people understood that. Even if you're a casual fan, is if you looked at the leaderboard at the end of day 1, day 2, and day 3, it blew everybody away, because you're sitting there going, there's no way you should have this many people tie for first, this many people tie for second. And again, on day 2, I think it was when you had some guy who was a no name, where everyone had to sit there and start searching up on the interweb who he was. It's like that showed that anybody could win. And that was where I think
actually that's a good strategy to actually bring more casual fans, because when you have just casual fans or follow people that no name people, that they're tired of the same guys. Oh, we're tired of the Patrick Mahomes winning every year. Oh, who's on board now? So we go with, there's a new kid on the block. Oh, let's go see what this is all about. So that brings in more casual fans when you have new names, and especially when it's like tight matches like that, when you have, because that creates drama. When you have anybody can win it. We have 10, 15 players on day 3 that are all in it, that can win. That's going to bring more attention to your tournaments.
Yeah, and I think that's where the PGA is doing really well. Because again, you're bringing the younger generation of golfers who don't necessarily want to see the people that we watch, right? They want to make their own, kind of favorite golfer. Especially again, we talk about fantasy. You can do fantasy golf, and so if you want to start picking these guys over Justin Rose, right? Scheffler is just playing for fun at this point. McIlroy will probably, I don't think he'll retire soon, but I think he'll start kind of dwindling away from the amount of matches he plays per year. And Justin Rose, that guy's a trooper. He looks like he's like 90, but he's really, 50-ish. But he's still a phenomenal golfer. That the age isn't going to take away from his skill. But again, he's for someone like, say, my generation or a generation above me, to watch. He's not like Cam Young is a younger generation's golfer.
And even for people that like to get on the apps and like to bet, place a little bet here and there, when you have underdogs and you have underdogs with a real chance of winning something, that increases your bets in the betting world. So people who don't even follow golf are going to place their bets too. So you have that brings more fans into that too.
Right, especially when you could do that, say, on like Robinhood and stuff too. You don't necessarily have to be in Vegas to do that. You can Robinhood. You could do the FanDuel or whatever, right? And I know we talk about Charles. What do you say about betting?
What do I say about it?
Yeah, what do you say about betting?
There's a lot of things I say about it, but don't chase.
Yeah, right.
Don't chase. Make a budget. And just gamble. It is entertainment. Okay. Don't think you're going to make your rent or your mortgage or anything like that. I just need my team to cover. It's like, no, don't. I say stay away from. Well, now you have Kalshi, which is you can bet on anything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That you can. They're saying you can bet on anything.
Well, see, but I don't. Okay, look, I get the.
You can even bet on the weather. It's going to be raining tomorrow. Let me bet. Here, $50. It's going to be sunny and shiny tomorrow.
But I mean, it's like at a certain point, though, draining the pockets of degenerate gamblers and people who have no self-control, that's where, I'm all for free enterprise and everything, but man, there's a morality issue at play here. Seriously. And that's why I tell people I know everything about gambling. Like, the point spreads, overruns, all that kind of stuff. I know it. And I tell people, don't do it. Even though I dabble.
Well, that's okay. So hear me out, right? We talk with this, right? With the morality of it. This is where the big joke, right? You know how they got Kurt Warner to do the gambling commercials, right? The guy who is the professing Christian doing Christian movies, and I sat there when he came on the betting commercial and I was like, do we not get what you're trying to follow? Like, do we not understand what it says?
Let me just say this. Okay, even though I talked about the morality of it, if DraftKings comes to me and tells me they'll pay me $5 million to do a gambling commercial, I will do it.
Yeah, again, right?
At the end of the day, and this is it. Justin E., what you have to realize is this. Me, you guys, all of us, we are whores. They just haven't met your price yet.
Yeah.
You just don't know your price.
But I want you to think about that. Could you imagine a betting commercial that they got T.D.G.S. Sports to do?
Yeah, I would.
How would that go? Phenomenal. That'd be the best betting commercial they've ever had.
It would. That's true. We'd blow Kevin Hart out of the water.
I'll do it from the casinos. I'll be at the casinos doing the commercial.
Yeah.
Hey, I can get to Vegas in 3.5 hours driving, so whatever.
Meet me at the Bellagio.
Could you imagine though? Seriously, that'd be great. Speaking of Kurt Warner, we should acknowledge the idea that his son EJ Warner has been going to the Broncos and Chiefs rookie camps. Now, that might just be for good faith because I don't know if you've seen EJ Warner play. He is not the quarterback for those two teams.
Well, okay, the quarterback for the Broncos is Bo Nix. Period.
But that's what I'm saying. He's not going there, but the fact that they let them kind of at the rookie camp, right, is like, maybe
was
that's
he filling water bottles and stuff, or what?
It had to have been because if you've seen him play on Fresno State, the name's cool for Fresno State. The way he plays, he's not the guy that I would invest the next couple years of football in, right? He's I don't know if he's taking the Kurt Warner approach. He's going to try to go play in the other leagues and then go to the NFL.
Iowa Barnstormers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So I saw that and I was like, I don't know what we're doing here. And I'm a Fresno State fan. It's like watching him play out there. It's like he's just not the guy for the team. So him going to Broncos and Chiefs, rookie camp. I think we're seeing the privilege of a name versus the skill of the player.
Oh, sure. Sure, why not?
Maybe they would have a favor. They would have a favor. Be like, hey, Dad, can you call in a favor? Get me into rookie camp just so I could get eyes on me.
Yeah, just so you get
But remember, Kurt Warner himself, he was a late bloomer too. He wasn't like hot off the press. Even when he played in the other leagues, he wasn't like a great quarterback. He developed late in his career, and he came in late into the NFL.
Yeah,
and he became great late in his career. Like he had what 5-7 year great years that he had. So he wasn't like straight out of college, great in other leagues or anything. He developed late. He was a late bloomer.
No, I get that.
Knowledge bloodlines though in sports, they will. If you are the descendant of someone who's great, like I actually knew one of Grant Fuhr, the goaltender.
Yeah.
His son was a goaltender, and I wound up talking to one of his parents, and she was saying that he always gets a look because of the name. He's not good enough to go somewhere really, but he gets a look because of the name, and that's what it is. It's the name and also the goodwill that you show. So you don't know when you might need Kurt Warner for something, here and there. Everybody's connected and stuff. So yeah, your son can come to rookie camp. Why not? And it's 98% of the guys there aren't good enough to play in the NFL. So
no, I agree, which is why I brought up the point. It's just it was a good segue because I have it here on my notes. I just wanted to mention EJ Warner, and I hope he's more than a late bloomer because Fresno State really needs like a good quarterback. So hopefully
they need another car, huh?
They need another car.
They need a new car. They're looking for a new car.
They need a new car. Seriously, they need a new car.
Yeah.
They've struggled the past couple of years to field a quarterback who you would say is worth the time and effort that they've put into training, right? They've just struggled in that department for a couple of years now.
Wait, did that car thing go over your head?
No, I got it because Carr played for Fresno State. Yeah,
okay.
I get it.
Both of them did, didn't they?
Yeah, I believe so.
Derek.
Yeah, Derek did for sure. Then you had Devontae Adams.
No, David did for sure.
David did, yeah.
David played for Fresno State.
They did both, right?
I think they both did. Yeah, I'm almost positive. I could be wrong. Anyway,
who was that little girl that you fired from your research department? One running around there. She should be online and looking this up for us. Who comes in and says semi-racial stuff every now and then? Her.
Semi-racial stuff. She's currently Pinteresting.
Ask her where Derek Carr went to.
Hey,
college.
can you look up where Derek Carr went to college? And if you have something semi-racial to say, go ahead and say it now.
Get it out your system.
Yeah, she asked why Charles was on CP time last week.
Yeah, exactly. I was at
so Fresno
I was
State.
up at Lake Havasu with Cedric Ceballos. IYKYK.
Oh, okay. You were up in Havasu?
Yeah. I ran to Cedric Ceballos up there.
Okay.
Did you cover your eyes? Oh no, that was D Brown. Did you blindfold yourself?
Okay. She said Fresno State. Yeah, she said Fresno State. So we were right. Though in the moment I was skeptical. Yeah, Fresno State. Anyway, so we need another car. Yeah. Definitely need another Devontae Adams, right? Too.
Or Bernard Berrien.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Name dropping now.
Yeah, look at you.
Hey, I'll go Henry Ellard on you, okay? I will go Henry Ellard on you. I'm not afraid to.
Strada, speaking of
Henry Ellard, who should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way, he should.
Speaking of which, Mr. Strada, one of the guys in the cafeteria actually went and played for Fresno State.
Really?
Yeah, the one bigger dude, in the cafeteria.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool. I was informed that. I went and talked to him the other day, so that's cool. Anyway, on the quarterback football news, our favorite player has decided.
We're talking about Caleb Williams here?
To come back for a year and see if he can finish his career out with a Super Bowl ring.
Tom Brady?
Did he buy tickets to the Super Bowl?
No, he went to Costa Rica and did a ayahuasca ceremony.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you talking about Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I heard he was going back. I was in Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago. And,
You were there to hope you could see Aaron Rodgers play?
Maybe hoping that to attend his retirement ceremony.
That was the thing. So here was the irony of this situation. It's funny. Is that while he announced that he was playing again, he got that 1-year extension, working with Mike McCarthy again, which didn't go so well the last year that Mike McCarthy was in Green Bay. He then said he plans on retiring this year.
Who does? McCarthy or?
No, Rodgers.
Well, this is his farewell tour. Is this correct?
One of the many farewell tours that he's had.
This is his Brett Favre imitation retirement tour. He's going to retire, but psych, I'm not retiring. I'm going to play till I'm 125 years old or until somebody tells me not. Remember, he still has to go to Minnesota.
Well, what's the he still
Mike McCarthy.
he still has to go to Minnesota, and he still has to have the affair with the reporter while his wife has cancer. Okay, nothing, not too soon. Can we not make that joke? No.
Even Mark Shimura cringed at that one, man.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't trust Aaron Rodgers at this point. I think what's the record? Who's the oldest?
And you got Mike
player?
McCarthy there, right?
Yeah, but McCarthy needs to retire too. At some point, you got to.
You know what? I am convinced McCarthy gets paid by the pound. That's the only explanation for anything.
Well, right? he came from Andy Reid's. He came from Andy Reid's coaching tree, so he has to keep up with Andy Reid.
He came from Andy Reid's buffet line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Coaching tree, buffet line. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Literally the same thing, right? They just, it sounds different when you say coaching tree. It sounds official.
I don't see how Pittsburgh Steelers, the fans can support a team that is going to be happy with being mediocre or continue to be mediocre, because right now they're not bad to be at the bottom, but they're not a top tier team either. It's like they're just right in the middle. For the last 6-7 years, they're just right in the middle of the pack. They're good enough to make the playoffs, barely, and that's about it. They're right there. It's they don't get no good draft picks. They don't.
So the question is, though, are they counting on McCarthy to have a essentially in the right moment, right time Green Bay season, or do they just hope that he does slightly better than McCarthy on the Cowboys, which when McCarthy was there was the Cowboys' year to win the Super Bowl?
You know, when they brought in McCarthy, my first thought was, who do they have in mind to replace him? Because Steelers are loyal to their coaches. They have an undying loyalty to their coaches. They keep him for long. But McCarthy, I don't think he's going to be there for long. He's almost 70. He's in his mid-60s, close to be 70. I don't think he's going to be there for more than 3-4 years. So they have to have somebody in mind to come after already behind him. What's the plan for the quarterback? Because now they're going to need a coach here soon. They're going to need a quarterback here soon. $300 million a defense, $300 million defense that can't play defense. Steelers defense that can't play defense.
T.J. Watt is great, but outside of that, it's whatever. But the problem, I think the Steelers, they somehow got themselves stuck in purgatory. They did.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like
they put themselves into a transition, and then they never actually transitioned.
Yeah, they're kind of in the gray zone. But
they're stuck in the mud. There's traction. There's no traction. They're stuck in the mud.
There's a bridge, but it's not going anywhere. Like the one piece of that bullet train that got built up north. You know, they call it Stonehenge because it's just a big, huge bridge, and there's no rock on it. There's nothing on either side of it either way. But that's the only thing they've done for $100 billion up here. That's a California joke there, people, as far as how the state is mismanaged. But that's what the Steelers did. I don't know what they were thinking.
Would Gavin Newsom agree with you?
Fortunately, no, he would not. Gavin Newsom agrees with me. I really gotta check the minutia of my beliefs. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, I think you're right though, right? It's like but I would argue, and I know that people like Mike Tomlin, but I would argue heavily that he inherited a good program and he kept that program alive for a while and then kind of just got stuck in that moment where there was no real progression made. He just kind of kept doing the same thing, didn't figure out a new system or try to reinvent what he was already working with. And then once he started getting rid of those players that were on that, like say Super Bowl team or that came right afterwards, so who were fairly understanding of what that program was, I think that's kind of where the Steelers just flatlined. They just they went stagnant and just whoop, and now the idea that McCarthy is going to change that, I don't see that happening. I think again, we talk about the flashpoint in history with like Peyton Manning and all them last 2 weeks ago. I think McCarthy's Super Bowl win with the Packers was a flashpoint in history, right? I think it was a brief moment in time where all the cards stacked up in his favor. And he managed to scrape together a good program for like that specific year. And then it showed because it fell apart. I don't think that McCarthy is the next guy, but at the same time, it's like, why would you hire a coach to plan on hiring another coach?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not who the Steelers are. That's not who they've been historically. They went from what, the last 50 years, they went from Noel to
Cowher to Tomlin.
To and now they're going to a guy that's gonna be what, three years, maybe.
I wouldn't even say that. I bet you he doesn't.
The problem is, okay, and that's right, they've done things a certain way for 50 years. Everything reaches a critical mass. And I think what they've done, it worked for decades. The whole thing of the loyalty to coaches, they only passed 50 years, and this is what, only their fourth coach. Is that it? Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, and now McCarthy. So that's quite a record. But the thing is, and the way that they've been with players, the whole thing, while the game itself has changed, the evolution of the game, the way that player contracts are done, all that type of thing has changed, and the Steelers have stayed the same way. At a certain point, you have to change the way that you're doing things, or you're not going to be able to compete as a franchise in the climate that football is now. And I think the Steelers finally, things reach this critical mass point where, oh crap, we don't have a coach. Oh crap, we need a quarterback. Oh, what are we going to do? And there's no more in your system. There's nothing developing there. So now, for the first time in a long time, they had to go outside and grab a coach. Well, who? And Tomlin, his whole thing, it kind of, he reached a critical mass with himself, and he was done. And Tomlin, he just left, but everyone knows he should have been gone probably,
I think
I'd say 4. I'd say 4 or 5. Definitely.
Yeah, it could have been. But I think that's the Steelers not letting him go. Him thinking he had his loyalty to the Steelers, and the Steelers not having the balls to let him go. They kept on going like, "Are you staying? What, you coming back? Okay, we'll keep you then." So they kept on. They don't
even know how to fire a coach, do they?
They stick with their coaches until
they get rid of Pickett to bring in what's kid from DK Metcalf. Then they need Pickett back.
You mean
especially?
Pickens.
George Pickens. I'm sorry,
George Pickens. George Pickens.
George Pickens is a head case. He's a head case.
I understand, but they trade him to Dallas.
Yeah,
and then they bring in DK Metcalf, and then they need a guy like Pickens back because they had nobody else.
He's going to drop the ball in critical moments.
But hear me out though. Pickens was a
head case,
dwindling. Yeah, I'll say head case at Pittsburgh, right? But he had a fairly good season with the Cowboys, and I don't know if it's because it kind of diversified CD Lamb, who was kind of
because he had a quarterback that can throw.
I'm not going to give Dak Prescott that much.
I would give him a quick because
no, we shouldn't. Prescott.
I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's great.
Don't ever mention anything having to do with diversity with a team in Texas. Okay, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
I am trying to be DEI here. Okay, I'm trying to be.
You're going to DIE if you ain't careful.
I'm not saying Prescott is great. I'm saying he can throw the ball. He can get the ball to his receivers.
He can also get the ball to defenders too.
Oh, he can get the ball to defenders, but he can get the ball to receivers.
But you're right. So if Prescott is on a good game, I agree with you, right? And I think that's the difference. You're right. So I'll go with you on this one, right? It was the Steelers don't have a good quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, again, he's not the same as he was even a decade ago.
Aaron Rodgers.
Even a decade ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever.
Who did the Steelers have the ball before Aaron Rodgers? Who did the Steelers have throwing the ball to George Pickens or anybody else on the team?
They had that no-name dude with the blonde hair. Yeah. No, not Fields. It was
Russell Wilson.
That was the year before Russell Wilson, and then before that they had who?
Roethlisberger.
No,
you skipped like 5 quarterbacks there.
They had
Mason Rudolph.
Prickett.
Prickett, yeah, there you go.
They have Prickett. They have the other guy, Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph. Mason Rudolph. There you go.
The red-nosed reindeer.
I agree. So that's one thing they have been missing is they have been missing a quarterback. Again, disclaimer: I am an Aaron Rodgers fan. I think that he did really good for the Packers. Stayed too long, obviously, but I think that his time with the Packers was his best years of football ever. Okay. The first 5 years, of course. And so, but I don't think right now being 40, 41, I think is what he's turning this year. He's not the guy for the Steelers. And I'm sorry to say that he doesn't really fit in. Aaron Rodgers moves definitely faster than Jordan Love, but not as fast as Brett Favre. So think about that. Faster than Jordan Love, not as fast as Brett Favre. Think about that. And his vision's not the same anymore. It's the same thing Brett Favre had. Brett Favre's vision turned into how many defenders can I throw the ball to before I make it to Donald Driver, right?
Brett Favre.
Charles, I gotta laugh from you there.
Aaron Rodgers statistics since his last year in Green Bay have just been going downhill every year. It's just been every year. He's gotten worse and worse, and his age has been going up. His stats going down.
Yeah, I agree. Again, but that seems to be the Packers thing, right? When you leave the Packers as a phenomenal quarterback, your career, you can count on your career being doo-doo. You can count on it being doo-doo, except for Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis is going to freaking rock it this year. I'm not sorry to say that. I love Malik Willis. Again, when he played those late games. It was just refreshing to see the ball thrown correctly, to see vision on the field, to see the whole system come together. So Malik Willis might be hold on. Malik Willis might be the only one to leave the Packers and do better.
His eyes are disturbingly close together.
You noticed
that, didn't you?
Maybe he can focus, laser focus.
Call it what you want.
Laser focus, man.
He can be cross-eyed. He can have a lazy eye. He was still better than Jordan Love, hands down. And I think because of Malik Willis, the program he came from Liberty, which Liberty was a phenomenal program while he was there. I think that Miami is going to greatly improve because of it, and I think again because Miami doesn't have Mike McDaniels anymore. Mike. Yep. Anyway, not Mike.
We may finally see both the Bosa boys playing together because there's a strong speculation that Joey may wind up in San Fran. We'll see both.
So here's about Nick Bosa.
Both Bosa boys. Or Chicago. I've heard Chicago.
God.
Bring him on. Bring him on. Come on.
Is anybody watching this interview right now from the Canes? The Carolina Hurricanes? Anybody watching it?
No, we're doing a podcast.
No, you should watch it because the interviewee is like half the size of Jordan Stahl.
You mean the interviewer?
I'm sorry, the interviewer is half the again. Just see my note in the private chat there, guys. But she is
a college graduate.
Yeah, I am struggling to put words together. I will be the first one to tell you that right now. But this lady is half the size of Jordan Stahl right now.
She's supposed to be a box jockey, you know. They give her a milk crate that she's supposed to take with her to whenever she interviews players, and she must have forgotten her milk crate.
She's not tall enough to get the mic to the guy's mouth.
Yeah. She has to put it on a selfie stick, right, and hold it up there.
Yeah, she's got it. She's got to jump. Right. Seriously, if you're not watching, you need to watch this right now, guys.
After replay.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. I think. Are we done talking about Aaron Rodgers and his drop off?
It's not about are we done. It's are you done?
Are we still going on? I mean, I could talk about Jordan Love and Mike. Matt LaFleur here. Can we? Are they fired yet?
I'm surprised you haven't brought them up yet.
Are they fired yet? Are they?
Well, and Josh Jacobs had all those charges, wasn't it? Like was he actually? Did he go and try to choke out Matt LaFleur?
I hope so.
If
that was the case, and that was against Matt LaFleur or Jordan Love, I'm okay with it. I'm okay.
That's how he got. You bailed him out, didn't you?
Hell yeah, I would have. If it was against them, I would have absolutely. I would have bailed him out and got him a drink afterwards. It's like, good for you, brother.
He showed up at Matt LaFleur's barbecue over Memorial Day weekend and tried to whoop his ass.
Yeah, that's fine. Who wouldn't, though? Who would not, though? I mean, get rid of him. Josh Jacobs, if that's what you did, good on you, brother. Good on you.
Got to give credit where it's due. The New York Knicks. The New York Knickerbockers are headed to the NBA Finals. I don't watch basketball anymore, but I just know the iconic franchise.
Listen. I'm gonna say it right now. Hold on.
My brother-in-law is the happiest man on earth because he's a Knickerbocker fan. He called me every day. Have you been watching the game? Have you been watching? I'm like, no, I don't watch NBA. I do not, unless it's Wembanyama. And he's like.
The Knicks might match up with the
real quick, let's give a shout out to your brother-in-law for sticking with the NBA and watching it when nobody else is, huh?
And that goes for both the NBA and the Knicks.
Yeah, he is the fan. Brother, he's got to get an award. If we have an award, we need to make an award for that guy.
I'll let him know. You know what?
Listen, I'll try to put together an award.
When he watches the podcast, when he views the podcast, he'll get it. So love you, Papo.
Yeah.
and
love you, Papa.
What I want for his birthday is the Knicks to win. Although I think San Antonio is still going to win it all, but I wish the Knicks would win for him on his birthday, which is coming up in June. So I hope that the Knicks win on his birthday just to give him a championship so he could be annoying me for the rest of eternity.
I tell you what, I'm with you on that one. I hope they win too for him. What?
The Thunder lead that series 3-2 over the Spurs, so I don't know if Wemby.
I still think my money is still on that alien because that dude is just something else.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it, though, real quick before we keep going about basketball is that we say we don't like basketball a lot, but we also talk about basketball a lot.
Here's the thing. We love sports. That's what it comes down
to.
And there are certain sports moments that happen that override any individual preferences we may have for which sports we do or do not like.
With that, I will agree.
The final for the first
time brother.
In 1999, that is something that needs to be mentioned. And when
if the Spurs actually make it past the Thunder, it'll be a rematch of the
It will.
1999.
There you go. Storylines all over the place,
There
man.
you go.
Yeah.
That's a storyline. It'll be a rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals.
1999 NBA Finals.
As a matter of fact, we're going to play Prince.
Nothing.
Party like it's 1999.
Yep.
Party like it's 1999. Did you say Prince?
Yeah, Prince.
Did you say Prince?
Prince of the Revolution. Yeah.
I saw him live at the Forum. I seen him in concert.
What'd you just go to hear?
Did you see him? Because he's about that tall.
Yeah. I didn't realize he was.
Hold up, man, real quick. He just made a high joke about Prince, right? But he was saying that Kyler Murray's going to do good this season.
You know,
who's also this tall.
All Prince had to do was play the guitar and sing. Kyler Murray's got all these big old like stud athletes to deal with, and
he gets to throw it above him.
Yeah, but he can't see what's on the other side. It's like trying to look over the ice wall in Antarctica.
Somebody's gonna catch it. All Kyler Murray has to remember is that Hawkinson wears number 87. Is it? Yeah, 87.
Listen, hey,
87,
easy,
87, that's it.
I'm gonna tell you some advice here. I know you've been lied to before, but size does matter. Okay, when it comes to football, size matters.
Not just football.
I know you got the whole eagle thing going on, but size matters, brother. Okay. And Charles, just as a curiosity, did you go just to hear Purple Rain, or did he have other songs?
You know what? I'm not gonna let you disrespect the legend. And Prince was amazing.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Incredible.
I'm gonna tell you this. I guarantee you go back into many of the songs that you listen to, and you'd be surprised at how many of those were written by Prince.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the Chappelle Show.
There you go.
This is, you know what? Prince, you wonder why he moved to Texas? This is why. And he fit right in.
Elaborate. Why would I fit right in if I'm trolling Prince?
Now here's the controversy for the audience.
Disclaimer: Prince is a phenomenal musician. I'll give you that one. But he only has one real song that everybody only knows, and that's Purple Rain.
Really? Never heard.
I get it. If you're not 100,
he only has one song that every white person knows. Purple Rain.
Yeah, I agree. White people. Shame on you, white people. Right? Is that what we're saying?
Because you have Raspberry Beret, 1999, Little Red Corvette, right?
1999.
So
Cream. How about Cream?
1999.
So I guess if I lost all my hair, I would know all the songs, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. And that their hair looks like.
But you're right around the corner. I'm gonna say you're right around the corner. You're not too far from it, though.
Oh my goodness!
You're right on
track. What else? Oh, we got to talk about Josh Jacobs, though. Okay, PR in the NFL, the Packers, right? He gets arrested, then released. What happened? Was it worth the arrest? Let's talk about PR. Let's talk about PR because
was it the sausage or the cheese?
But I feel like we've talked about the New England Patriots a lot. Like we got to give some shit to the Packers. Like, that's a PR disaster. Like the first thing somebody asked me today is do we start recruiting Eddie Lacy and Ryan Grant and Amon Green because we lost our quarterback? And can you play with the orange jumpsuit on?
You can, because from what I understand, they do have those uniforms. They do now stretch pretty well.
Okay.
So that you can play those games. I mean, the whole thing is how would the ankle bracelet affect his ability to cut through the hole?
With him, I don't think he cuts. I think he just kind of runs upfield and hopes to God he can like kind of maneuver a little bit sideways to go up.
Mm-hmm.
But would he be out of range if he gets to the end zone?
That's a good point, right? Again,
we all saw the longest yard,
That is exactly it. But that's the point. It's like, what is with all these players getting these like domestic abuse charges? Right? It's like it's like you get
the broad overcooked the pasta. All right, that is unacceptable.
It is, right?
She had to have her ass whooped right there in the kitchen. That's it.
Yeah.
You make curdled hollandaise sauce. That's the end, man. You can't. That is unacceptable.
Oh my goodness! Right, but okay, come on.
I was thinking about that eggs Benedict all week, and now it's Sunday, and you come in with this. No.
Gonna smack a hoe for that, right? Can we say that? Are we allowed to say that? I'm sorry. Don't cancel us. But the point is, though, is what is going on, though? This seems to be a reoccurring problem at this point, right? And I know it's probably not new. It's just because we have more ways of getting information out. But it's like if you start, it's like for the NFL purposes, right? If you start to have this like reoccurring of all your players not all of them, but you have more and more players getting these domestic abuse charges, primarily domestic abuses, right? And I'm sorry, Voinov did not, the TV didn't fall on his wife. Okay.
Slava Voinov.
Yeah, the TV did not fall on. The TV did not. But the point is like, why are we having this problem? And it's not just it's not just one group of people versus the other. It's the whole thing, the whole players, right? Because Voinov obviously and Jared Stoll with the cocaine and whatever. But it's like, why is
it was Molly? Okay,
I'm sorry, Molly.
Molly.
But what's going on? What's causing this?
The
right?
cocaine.
Why the cocaine?
There you go.
But seriously though, why are we having this problem? Is this just like we come into money and we can do whatever we want situation? Is this because
we're not money and too much spare time,
and we're not training character? Okay, we're not training character. I like
Jared Stoll, so I never bag on Jared Stoll. Everybody makes mistakes here and there. You think about Jared Stoll, you never heard anything before that or after that, so I'm willing to say it was an anomaly. That's the way it was.
I like Stoll. I think that even now Jared Stoll could jump back onto the Kings and still add a great deal of
the way the Kings are now. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. I think he would definitely do better than Doughty. But you're right. But the point is, I guess we can't talk trash. It's the same thing with Mike Richards. But I think that ultimately what is the problem? Like, why are we having this problem of domestic abuse charges happening?
Okay, so we're talking about domestic abuse, not necessarily
drugs, but we can talk about
and things.
But we can talk about drugs. No, we can talk about drugs too, though. It almost seems like, and again, it's probably because more information is allowed to be gotten out. Right, you can't control the NFL can't, or the NHL, the NFL, they can't control the information getting out like they used to. So is this something that's has it always been happening, or is this new? Right?
When I was a kid, I found out about abusive players who were abusive, like the whole, Jim Brown, the way that he was. He straightened out later on, but a lot of times we didn't even find that stuff out until they were long retired. Then we find, because all that information just stayed in their hometown. Everyone who lived in that area knew the team knew it, but everything now is national news. That's the problem. Like, okay, what happened where I live here? That the hot tank of nail polish that almost exploded in Garden Grove, and that actually made international news.
Yeah,
it was on TV, like in England, that this chemical plant might explode. International news for just something in Garden Grove. Now it's over and whatever. But the thing is, it made international news like in one day.
Right.
This was on CNN, then it was on Fox News, and then someone else was telling me it was on the news over there in London and stuff, and the whole world is waiting to see if this thing explodes. So the problem, like what you say, the information just gets out there. For something like this, like with Josh Jacobs, back in the day, this would not even have, it wouldn't even have made it out of Wisconsin. It wouldn't. And it's nothing. That's the thing, is it's nothing yet. It's nothing. He was arrested. He was brought in for questioning. They don't have sufficient anything to hold him. They let him go. That's what happened. Somebody said such and such. We have to bring you in. That's it. And now he's back out, and we'll see what happens. Or was it anything? Did anything have any merit? We don't know. And that's the sad thing, or the unfair thing, when they ask the team. And like the team, it's like, we just heard about it right before you did. How do we know?
Yeah.
He did anything.
So that's the other question, though, right? Is that it's easy to say, oh man, the Green Bay Packers are letting that stuff happen. Like, right? It's like, how do teams and say the league, the NFL, control how that portrays them when it's definitely not connected, right? You can't say like the player is connected to the program or the league, right? The player made that decision. So how does the league or how does the team control how that is perceived?
But here's a problem. They can't, you can't control it because the news media. We go back to at the beginning of the program where we were talking about how TV shows just like the drama and they have an agenda. So this is the agenda. They don't know the details about it. They know he got arrested and he was let go. So we focus on he got arrested. Football player gets arrested. Jacobs gets arrested. What for? We don't know. Could be drugs. There was domestic violence over what? We don't know. So we just focus on he was arrested. How is the Green Bay Packers going to handle it? Well, how is the NFL going to take care of it? What are they going to do? We don't even know what he got arrested for. We don't even know what the details are. But we're he got arrested.
That was the thing.
About the clicks and
it's a whole chaos. We want to make chaos out of the whole situation. We want to make it bigger than what it is.
It's like the sports. If we tie it back to what we were talking about earlier, the thing, it's like, what can we create clicks for, right? I mean, I sent you that article right from ESPN. It was like, it was a list. It was a full paragraph of what, like, ESPN thought that he was being charged for. It was like domestic violence, domestic this, and this. It's like, well, shit, what is it, right?
But see, right now, but who took charges to find out what the truth? The truth could be that she got mad at him, accused him of domestic violence, said, "Oh, he slapped me" or whatever. Took him to the authorities because that could be the case. Nothing really happened, and they went back, but they don't have proof of nothing. It's a he said, she said kind of deal, and then he was let go. So nobody took the time and true journalism to go investigate, see what truly happened. Let me get it from his side. Let me get it from her side. Let me go to the arresting officer to see what they found out. Let me investigate, see what truly found out, bring that to light. No, he got arrested. That's all we know. They took him out in custody and they let him go at whatever, 2 hours later, whatever the case is.
Now we talk about journalism though. It's how do you encourage like good journalism to the point where it's like
you can't now. I know you all they want to create is chaos. Journalism, I don't think there's any true journalism anymore.
But that's right. What I'm saying though. How do you encourage it though? How do you sit there and say, let's try to get our journalists, or how do you get ahead of the game to where it's like our journalists can ask the question of, these are the suspected charges. Nothing's been charged yet. Likely chance he's getting out. But it's kind of to ask the questions versus like, this is what. Right? I obviously.
You're getting paid. The first one that brings it to me, first one that brings it. If TMZ is the one that's going to bring it to me, the first. They're the ones that are going to get paid. Whoever brings it to me first, that's who's going to get paid. That's all that matters. I'm chasing money. I don't care who's right, who's wrong, who gets hurt, who doesn't get hurt. Because right now there might be families involved. You talk about parents, siblings, children may be involved that are getting hurt emotionally. We don't care about those. We care about, I'm bringing something out. I'm going to get paid for what I bring out. Whatever I report.
So let me ask this question, right? As we did talk about it, the Price is Right. Like if a betting commercial wanted to happen, I'm sure we would probably make it happen, right? Because we would. But we don't do things for clicks, right? So how do you get the mindset? Like for us, we're doing this for fun right now, right? We're building up towards something, but it's like we don't have the expectation that we're getting paid, and we have the mission to for truth, for having the honest conversation, for being able to talk about what most people want to hear versus what will be a clickbait, what will be what the big industry wants us to say. So how do we stay in this mindset? How do we stay with the little guy mindset versus the industry, versus the clickbait? Because that shit's stupid, right? Why would you
look? Here's the problem, and I said this. I was talking with somebody, because everybody is on this whole down with capitalism. That's kicked. That's the latest thing. But the problem with capitalism, there's no problem with capitalism per se, but the real issue is people do not understand how greedy they are until the money starts rolling.
Until the money starts coming in.
That's the problem. So, what will we do if DraftKings comes at us with $8 million? Who knows?
But we would, but again, we would do a commercial.
$8 million, and it's just you and E and you kick me off, or you and I and we kick him off, or he and I and we kick you off. Well,
no, but for real, if you want T.D.G.S sports, you get the whole crew, you get no crew. That's as simple as that. Mm-hmm. And again, for real, that's as simple as that. That's kind of my moral on the situation. You get us all, or you get none of us. But that's the thing, is how do you have that mindset? Like, I get money's cool, money's great, and it's not the money that's the root of all evil. It's the person in the heart of the
the line in the Bible is, for the love of money is the root of all evil.
Right.
The love of money. So it's about how you treat and how you let money manipulate the different things in your life. And I'm telling you, when it comes right down to it, as soon as money gets involved, people become very pragmatic.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Everybody has morals and values and everything when they're broke. That's all you got.
Yeah, but I think that's, again, though, I think that's with the mindset, though. It's that people chasing that. For me, just as a general note, is that the Dissenting Goyim Media Group is for the information as opposed to the money.
I get it.
It's the information, right? Mm-hmm. The money would be cool, but it's not going to change the information. I will, till the day I die. If you ask me not to say one thing, it's like, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I won't say that, because I'm going to keep saying that. That's just the mission of this company. But again, I don't think people have that same foundation that that we have here.
It's just like a retired boxer. Boxers retire and then they unretire, because you are not retired until they come to you and they say, hey, E, we'll pay you $25 million to fight. And you say no. That's when you're retired. But you can say retired all you want until the money comes in, man. It's a whole different thing.
It is.
And I'm going to tell you, your research person you have there that makes the occasionally racist comments from the background, when millions of dollars come in, all right, she's going to have a say. Have a say, homeboy. Watch the movie A Simple Plan.
Well, as a general note, she does have a say already in this company. But if we segue, perfect segue. I love this segue.
Yeah, I'm in for the back already.
If we segue now,
that's too loudly.
Let's make our segue into the last thing we're going to talk about here. Is that, speaking of boxers, thank you, Charles, for making the unintended segue. Conor McGregor. Conor McDavid. I'm a hockey player. I'm a hockey fan. Sorry. Conor McGregor comes back, right, hot off of suspension, and then Ronda Rousey has her last comeback match. Well,
actually, they need a payday. Money's running low. They need a payday. I'm unretiring. That's what Charles was just saying.
Yeah,
I'm retired. I'm going to give you 20.
Let me just ask you all this. You saw that fight, all 12 seconds of it. Did you see Gina Carano was grinning ear to ear after she tapped out?
Yeah.
Whoever, I guarantee you, if E whooped your ass, you wouldn't be grinning like that. Unless you got paid a crap load of money, which she did.
She came back for payday. You know what? And I never thought, honestly, even if they had fought 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I would have said it's a mismatch because Gina Carano has never been. She was a striker. She's never been a ground fighter. She never was. She's a beautiful woman. That's what she is. It was all glamour, but she's a striker. Even when she was in her prime, she's always been a striker, and she fought Cyborg in Strikeforce. And Cyborg destroyed her. Cyborg is a ground. Cyborg would have been a better matchup for Ronda Rousey because they're more mat combat. They have more wrestling skills, more mat skills. That would have been a better matchup for her. But Gina Carano is Ronda Rousey's idol. She's the reason why Ronda Rousey got into MMA. So she wanted to. It was kind of like, let me give you a farewell tour. Let's do the dream match that never happened. So it lasted all 17 seconds. Thank God that the undercard was a great undercard because all the matches I did watch the whole undercard. They had Francis Ngannou on the card, and they had Nate Diaz was on the card. They had great matchups. There were great fights on the undercard that made up for the disaster, which was the main event, because that was just a disaster. It was 17 seconds of nothing.
Let me ask you something, E. Now, would you trade your bank account for that of Nate Diaz if you also had to have his ears?
You know,
yeah, you got to think about that, right?
Well, I would have to look. I would have to look at how much does he have in his bank account. Can I get surgery done? Do I have enough left after the surgery to get them ears? To get the surgical, but that was Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, I should say. She would have been better off to go against a striker. And if she does have another fight, because she did leave the door open to come back and have, but I think she would do better, like if she went into Muay Thai or just kickboxing or not MMA.
Yeah, so I get you. I know what you're saying.
Let me roll with this one, and I'm gonna go straight conspiracy here. You talked about how she had the grin from ear to ear right after she lost, and who has a grin from ear to freaking ear when you lose something, especially if you're like a real competitive athlete, right? Does that grin tell you everything you need to know with the idea that these matches are fairly scripted versus like natural, like organic, as far as how they play out?
I'm not saying the fix was in. I'm not saying that at all.
Okay.
What I'm saying is it didn't take her long to go from the match to the reality of the situation, which was we did it. It was about publicity and such, really. And we made it. We pulled it off. We got on TV. We got it to the end, and that's it. So you're looking at it as an event versus the personal thing of who won or lost. And it's like you're grinning because you pulled off the event.
So if we can roll with that,
I wouldn't even count that as a match. That's like an exhibition.
So let's roll with that for a minute. What's the point of sports if you're realizing that it's the marketing and the event versus the actual sport?
Well, at the end of the day, if you're looking at sports, it's about the competition. But when you get in there and you realize you're overmatched, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You realize, and you feel someone's power in those type of events. You know right away that she knew that Ronda was just too much for her. As soon as they take you down like a rag doll, that's your ass.
This took me back to the Michael Spinks Mike Tyson fight. That was same thing. Mm-hmm. Michael Spinks, I don't even think Mike Tyson hit him. I think he woofed him, and he said "woof," and he just laid back and he says,
"He hit him with a body shot." That's what happened.
But that's
a body shot in there, and Spinks just went. She went down to one knee, and that was it. You cannot take 12 rounds of that power, and it's just over.
It's over. And he said, let me take my how many ever millions of dollars.
Mhm.
Let me go to the bank while I'm still alive so I can enjoy. And then he says, I'm retired. He retired, and he retired because he never came back.
Right.
Because they offered him a rematch. He says, nope, I'm done. So he was retired.
Yeah, the good news is Mike Tyson tells us everything we need to know about whether Donald Trump's assassination attempt was real or not.
That's ludicrous. That's absolutely ludicrous.
Right.
And then going to Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor.
He's like going. Let's tell McGregor.
Conor McGregor is he just has a country behind him. He's Irish, and he has a country of Ireland behind him.
I think for now it's what Ireland needs, actually, considering their current
and because Conor McGregor, he just has a big punch. That's it. He can't go on a mat. He doesn't even have a great technique. Nate Diaz made him tap out in his prime, mind you.
Yeah. I think again for him, I think the idea of that determination, that the cockiness of McGregor, it represents everything that Ireland is and their current political situation. It's like they need him. At least the actual Irish people need him to kind of remind them that they're there. They have a strong, wonderful, beautiful culture. And so I think that's kind of why McGregor.
I don't think his if he when they make that match of him and he's fighting Max Holloway, I don't think he's gonna last 2 rounds against Max Holloway. Because even though Max Holloway is an age fighter, Max Holloway can still bring it.
So if you bet currently, make sure you take Estrada into account for when you're betting, because we know that he's a future predictor.
Oh, Max Holloway in 2 rounds.
That's Max Holloway in 2 rounds. There you go. We know that he got it right with the World Surfing League, and so he's definitely going to get it right here. If you're Irish, don't hate us. Don't cancel us. We're good.
Yeah,
we love you still. I mean,
no, keep your love for Conor McGregor, but keep him over there in Ireland.
Well, Conor McGregor,
he's got good whiskey though. He's got some good scotch.
I haven't tried it. Is it good?
It's good.
I'm gonna have to get some because today I had Garrison Brothers. If you haven't had Garrison Brothers, get some. It's great.
Hey, Maker's Mark 46 is solid. It's
very
solid.
That's some poor white folk shit right
there. It's
there.
very solid. It is solid.
That's some poor again.
Don't knock it because I have an unopened bottle right here right now.
Charles,
Maker's Mark 46.
I do.
It's good.
Listen,
it's good.
Hey Charles, can I be for real with you?
What's that?
You drink a lot of white people stuff, right? Your mango carts. Basic white girl stuff. Your Maker Marks is poor, like redneck white people stuff. Are you? I mean, come on now.
Maker's Mark 46. And by the way, my favorite.
Hey, you love us. I'm just saying, you love us. Let's be
single
for real.
malt. Johnny Walker Green, excellent single malt.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
You are not helping your case right here, Charles. That's some white people stuff.
Well, it's like this, and you know what? And this is one of the things I've said though over the years. I have said this, and the difference with white people and the rest of us colored folks is white folks have a lot of they broaden their horizons, which is a good thing. I don't give white people much the credit, very much of the time, but they do have more broad horizons. They do try more different things, and a lot of brothers need to understand that it's not just about everything you knew in that 4 blocks of hood that you grew up with. Try some new things. Think outside the box. I'm like that.
You know which is good too. That's pretty good. If you like single malts, try Aberfeldy. Aberfeldy's pretty good.
Okay. All right.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with single malts. I like Aberfeldy. I like Aberfeldy.
Listen, brother, skip
is good.
Skip it and go right to Garrison Brothers.
And I do. Hey, you know what?
If we're going white people stuff, go right to Garrison. All right. Garrison Brothers, Texas homebrew, delicious, man. That's what I've been drinking the whole time in my nice, awesome Unite cup by the Dissenting Media Group. Come on now.
Austin TX is good. That's the one I drink too. I like that one.
Yeah, hi, man. Garrison Brothers is high Texas. Come on out. Let's man, I'm telling you, it's wonderfully beautiful. Anyway, on that note, we are gonna start to roll out. Thank you for listening to T.D.G.S. Charles, hit it. Come on. Yeah,
Sport! Yeah, say it like he does.
And one more time, people. God bless the American Red Cross. When I had to stay in that shelter, when we had that little incident there in Garden Grove, I got to sleep on an Army cot for the first time in, I don't know, almost 50 years. Got my blanket, and you know what? I got stories to tell, people. I got stories to tell.
Stories to tell.
And everything. Got my name on it, homie. Look at that.
Yeah. Love it. Awesome. You will find
God bless the American Red Cross.
Your 2x6. You slept on your 2x6?
I did, yes. Yeah.
You will find us at Rumble. You will find us at Substack. You will find us on YouTube, and you will now find us on Spotify. So we appreciate you guys, the 61 subscribers that we have. You guys are freaking awesome. We are getting our license and everything together so that we can sell you merch, and our merch is sick. Okay, and it's going to be fairly cheap for you to buy. So you can start repping T.D.G.S. Sports, the Dissenting Goyim Show, Pop Culture in a Cold One, or Dyed in the Wool History. Everything that we do is for you. We thank you. We love you. We appreciate your support. Please like our show, subscribe, comment, message. Man, we're here. I have been working hard to respond to everybody's comments, even the ones that aren't so positive. I still like to respond to you guys. We appreciate your feedback again. Thank you for keeping
bring them on, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
Bring them on.
For keeping our lights on. We appreciate you guys. Please tell your friends about us, and to Easy E's brother-in-law, man, we love you. We hope that the Knicks win. You are awesome for listening. We appreciate you, and we are signing out.